Hey there, how y'all doing? Welcome to another edition of Steve's Sporty Balls. It is Thursday, the 25th of January, and oh boy, we have got a lot to talk about today. We got updates on two major stories for you, including what's going to happen to Raw. Well, let's find out, shall we? What's going to happen to Raw? Okay, what is going to happen to Monday Night Raw? This was announced last week. As you know, Netflix will be the new home of Monday Night Raw as of 2025. Oh, there's a new twist in the old story, and we're going to try to bring you that twist. Come on. Okay, we'll try and find it for you. Okay, and we all said that they were going to be a few episodes away from 1600. Well, we're going to be changing that word. That's right, folks. As a lot of people know, this is the final year for Raw and USA before it moves to Netflix, and we thought it would be it. They will be about 9 episodes away from 1600. We are wrong on that. Boy, are we wrong. Because we have, WWE announced a $5 billion deal with Netflix for Raw that will also see the streaming giant be the home to almost all WWE content in several territories around the world. But with that deal not beginning until January 2025 and WWE's current deal with the USA Network ending in October 2024, questions remain about just where the red brand would be seen in the last few months of 2024. Speaking on a video for Post Wrestling, Brandon Thurston revealed that he reached out to NBC Universal about what will happen with Raw in October 2024, and the company revealed that the show was finishing on the USA Network that month. Quote, one of the unanswered questions we have is what's going to happen Raw in October, November, and December when presumably Raw is not going to be on the USA Network. The Netflix deal, Netflix Live in the US, is not going to start until January. He asked NBC Universal, and they did get back to him. A spokesman said that it's correct that Raw will no longer be on the USA Network after October 2024. In regard to what is happening with Raw between October and December, it's probably best to reach out to WWE. Mr. Thurston did ask WWE, He hasn't heard back. Fans might not have to wait long to find out what is happening with Raw, however, as Dave Meltzer added that he had heard back from WWE, and the word coming out of the company was that an announcement will be made in relation to the issue very soon. The other huge news coming out of the WWE on that same day as the Netflix deal was that The Rock has been appointed to the TKO Board of Directors. And then we get this. That's right, folks, and it looks like Mr. McMahon, looks like Vince is in big trouble again. On January 25th, the Wall Street Journal revealed details of a lawsuit filed by former WWE employee Janelle Grant, which detailed numerous allegations of sexual assault perpetrated by Vince McMahon and other WWE personnel. The lawsuit laid out several disturbing incidents, including physical and sexual abuse claims that McMahon sent explicit videos of Grant to WWE employees, and even that he defecated on her head during a threesome. In an article shared by Variety, a TKO Sport Group spokesperson issued a statement regarding the lawsuit. Quote, Mr. McMahon does not control TKO, nor does he oversee the day-to-day operations of the WWE. While this matter predates our TKO executive team's tenure at the company, we take Ms. Grant's horrific allegations very seriously and are addressing this matter internally. Now, Vince retired from the WWE in June of 2022, surrounded by a whirlwind of allegations. It was alleged that McMahon had a number of affairs and paid several women a total of well over $10 million to be quiet about it. There are also claims he coerced one woman into giving him oral sex. After McMahon forced his way back onto WWE's board of directors in January 2023, more allegations came to light, and it was claimed he assaulted a spa manager at a resort in 2011. McMahon also reached a multi-million-dollar settlement with the former referee Rita Chatterton, who claimed she'd been assaulted back in 1986. In 1992, Chatterton came forward with her story claiming that McMahon made unwanted sexual advances towards her after she turned him down, he raped her. Oy. Okay, and this little sad bon mot. Hey, Matt. WWE, as you know, is heading to Netflix. It changed the wrestling industry in 2014 when the company launched its very own subscription-based network. The WWE Network became the home for all major events, including WrestleMania, and for many, even more importantly, became a library of historic shows encompassing all the tape libraries WWE has amassed over the years, and so 1,000 watch-along wrestling podcasts were born. Things changed massively in 2021 when the WWE signed a $1 billion deal with NBC Universal to move the network in the United States to the Peacock streaming service. Now WWE has signed a massive deal with Netflix for Raw, as well as all WWE content in several countries and territories around the world. Speaking on Wrestling Observer Radio, Dave Meltzer said that the WWE Network, which still exists around the world, will be shutting down as part of this deal, which means Netflix will become home of not only old WWE content, but the company's library of shows from territories such as from territory days, along with ECW and WCW. Said Meltzer, quote, in March 2026, when the Peacock deal ends, and then the U.S. aspect of it, which one would think Netflix would want, given that Netflix is going to take over everywhere else in the world, but pretty much the United States, and I think wherever else they've already signed. I think the Middle East might be the other one. India might be that also, but for most of the world, they're going to be taking over the WWE network. The WWE network itself, which does exist outside the U.S., will be folding at the end of the year, and Netflix will pick up the content. So a lot of people have asked, will they pick up all of the content, all of the archives? I don't know, but they will be the sole source of that archival content of all the old territories and all the old stuff that was on the old WWE network that'll move to Netflix outside the US in January when the Peacock deal is up. If Netflix were to get that, that would be interesting to see how much more they would pay. It's a $20 million deal per. It's $20 million deal per year right now. So that's the next deal that's coming up. Mr. Meltzer also suggests Netflix paid WWE with the $5 billion deal, as it may not be the increase in rights fees as it first seems. It was recently confirmed that the WWE has ended its own home video, DVD, and Blu-ray releases as technology takes more people away from physical media. This means that WWE content, as well as decades worth of wrestling content from elsewhere, could be left to the whims of streaming giants to upload or not as they see fit. Mm-mm-mm. Wow. Wow, that is indeed truly a stunner. Okay, we will also give you, as they say, more info as it becomes available. But once again, this means that with after Raw not airing on the USA Network after this September, that means that they will be at 1,578 episodes. So wow. But stunner, they won't even get close to 1,600. So there you go. Raw will be done on the USA Network in October, September or October. So, as they say in business, there's more to this to come. You bet your sweet Bippy on that. Let's continue on. And this time, let's bring you the scores. That's right. Let's get you the scores of everything that has gone on in the world of sports. Let's start off with the NBA. Right now, about 2 games are still going on as we speak. 6:21 remaining. The Sacramento Kings lead the Golden State Warriors 91-86. We're at the half between the Lakers and the Bulls, and the Lakers lead the Bulls 73-57. Some final scores for you. Indiana Pacers beat the 76ers 134-122. Utah Jazz over the Washington Wizards 123-108. We got some news from the Washington Wizards too. We'll tell you in a few moments. Celtics defeat the Miami Heat 143-110. Timberwolves over the Nets 96-94. And the Knicks over the Nuggets 122-84. In NCAA men's basketball, just starting, 9th-ranked Arizona over Oregon State, 4:38 left to play in the first half, and Arizona and Oregon State. Arizona leads Oregon State 35-27. In women's basketball, the fourth quarter, 2 minutes remaining. Kyle Poly over CS Fullerton, 56-48. Final scores: Vermont over UMass Lowell, 62-53. Texas State over South Alabama, 63-44. Little Rock over Lindenwood, 50-45. Mount St. Mary over St. Peter, 52-49. UC Irvine over LBSU, 74-59. Cal Baptist over UT Rio Grande Valley, 75-55. Fairfield over Quinnipiac, 74-59. East Carolina 4-point winner over FAU, 78-74. Stonehill over St. Francis of Pennsylvania, 66-57. Bryant over New Jersey Tech by a score of 73-64. East Illinois over Tennessee Tech, 73-71. University of Louisiana Monroe over Arkansas State, 84-76. Louisiana over Coastal Carolina, 6-7-51. Southern Indiana University over Western Illinois, 81-61. Duke over the 23rd ranked Florida State team, 88-46. 10th ranked Virginia Tech over Georgia Tech, 87-69. Wofford over Mercer, 65-64. Binghamton over New Hampshire, 73-63. Eastern Kentucky over Jacksonville, 59-51. UT Martin over Southeast Missouri State, 52-44. Old Dominion, a winner over Appalachian State, 68-49. FIU over Western Kentucky, 70-60. Samford, without Sun, defeated Furman, 66-60. Sacred Heart over LIU, 70-55. Chattanooga over UNCG, 73-55. Bellarmine over North Florida, 69-63. Cleveland State over Oakland, 77-65. Niagara. And by the way, hello, Matt G. Niagara over Ryder, 81-62. ETSU over West Carolina, 56-47. Albany over Maine, 54-47. Lemoyne over Merrimack, 64-57. Stetson Fit over Austin P, 51-42. 12th ranked Ohio State over Illinois, 67-59. Ole Miss over Florida, 81-70. Troy over Southern Mississippi, 77-70. Lipscomb, a loser to FGCU, 75-54. Gonzaga, I do believe we don't have a big enough thing there. Here we do. Number 17, the Gonzaga Bulldogs defeated the Santa Clara Broncos by a score of 82-45. Yahoo! Canisius over Iona, 53-43. Final in overtime, UAB over Wichita State, 83-81. Southeast Louisiana over Houston Christian, 53-51. Manhattan over Marist, 60-54. Louisville, that's right. 18th ranked Louisville Cardinals over the Boston College Eagles, 88-60. 7th ranked North Carolina State over Clemson, 71-49. 22 ranked Syracuse over 15th ranked Notre Dame, 79-65. Pittsburgh over Virginia, 56-52. Drake over Bradley, 77-65. Texas A&M Coastal over Texas A&M Commerce or Community, 69-58. Illinois State over Northern Iowa. Let's try again. Illinois State over Northern Iowa, 88-77. In overtime, FDU over CCSU, 80-75. Arkansas over Kentucky, 88-61. Top-ranked South Carolina women's basketball over 9th-ranked LSU, 76-70. South Dakota State, a 72-49 win over UMKC. Penn State, a 76-65 win over Northwestern. Oral Roberts still trying to stay alive and not be called home. Defeated Nebraska of Omaha, 88-78. South Dakota, a 78-70 winner over Denver. SF Austin over Grand Canyon, 59-54. New Mexico State, a winner over Sam Houston, 76-63. Northern Arizona over Idaho, 65-53. East Washington, 68-62 winner over Northern Colorado. Lamar over New Orleans, 65-62. Northwestern State over McNeese State, 60-44. 20th ranked North Carolina beat Miami of Florida 66-61. In double overtime, St. John's over DePaul 83-77. North Dakota State over St. Thomas of Minnesota 85-52. Charleston State over Southern Utah 71-60. Texas A&M over Missouri 69-67. Montana over Portland State 87-46. Montana State over Sacramento State 60-54. UTEP over LA Tech 61-57. Abilene Christian, a loser to Utah Tech 78-69. Pacific, a 60-45 victory over St. Mary. Portland, an 82-49 victor over Pepperdine. San Fran over LMU 61-48. UC San Diego over UC Riverside. Down by the riverside. 51-43 was the final score. UC Santa Barbara over Hawaii 65-53. And Cal Baker over CS Northwedge by a score of 70-54. And we're going to pause for a bit and gotta take a little bit of a sigh-etter. So if you will excuse me for a moment, we shall return very shortly with more scores and more of this very program. We're not in the dark, folks. We're in the light, and the light looks good. Be right back. Okay, welcome back. About to sit back down, finish up our sports cast. We gotta fill that up again. Yeah, I know. There we go. Okay, let's keep going. I think we did the hockey. Okay, here's the second round. The Farmers Insurance Open from La Jolla, California. The purse of $9 million. Steven Yeager has the lead after the second round with a 12 under score, 12 under 8. Let's see. He has a score of 12 under today. Of course, he ended up with 8 under. Nikolai Holgaard is 11 under par. In a tie for third, Thomas Detry and Matthew Pavon are at 10 under. And Tony Finau is at 9 under. Those are the top 5, folks. Today, Yeager shot an 8 under. Holgaard shot a 6 under. Detry shot a 4 under. Matthew Pavron shot a 7 under. And Finau shot a 6 under. So there we go. Let's keep going. Here's the National Hockey League scores. Red Wings over the Flyers, 3-0. Canadians over Islanders, 4-3. In overtime, the Bruins beat the Senators 3-2. Lightning beat the Coyotes 6-3. Hurricanes over the Devils 3-2. In overtime, the Stars over the Ducks 4-3. Predators beat the Minnesota Wild 3-2. Blue Jackets took on the Flames and clobbered them 5-2. And the Oilers blanked the Blackhawks 3-0. In the Argentine Premier Division soccer, or as they like to call it, football, Tigre and Sarmiento ended up in a goose egg tie. Instituto and Deportivo Ristra also ended up in a 0-0 tie. Atletico Tucumán and Rosario Central finished in a 1-1 tie. Newell's Old Boys defeated Central Cordoba SDE 1-0. And that, friends, is all she wrote. Once again, folks, if we seem to be a little dark, it's because we don't have much in the way of light yet. We are looking forward to maybe a couple of lanterns and or a little selfie stick of a light to keep this going. So stand by, as they say. Okay, in other sports news, the starters for the NBA All-Star Game have been announced, and we got them for you. That's right, we're less than a month out from the NBA All-Star Weekend, and it is therefore time to start picking the rosters for regular season's marquee event. Just as a reminder, we're moving back to an East versus West format. As a reminder, we're moving back to an East versus West format after years of captains drafting rosters. The 10 starters are chosen by a combination of fan voting, representing 50% of the selection process, media voting, that's 25%, and player voting, that's the other 25%. With all that in mind, here are the chosen starters for the 2024 NBA All-Star Game in Indianapolis. For the East Conference, at guard, Tyrese Halliburton from the Indiana Pacers. Also from the East, another guard, Damian Lillard for the Milwaukee Bucks. At full court, Boston Celtics front court, Boston Celtics Jason Tatum, and the Milwaukee Bucks Giannis Antetokounmpo. As well as Joel Embiid for the Philadelphia 76ers in the FC position. What is the FC position anyways? I have no idea. Well, maybe this will give. Power forward. Full court, otherwise known as power forward. Okay, so, hey, we found that out. Yay. Okay, Joel Embiid, a power forward for Philadelphia 76ers. For the West, Luka Doncic and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Doncic for the Dallas Mavericks, Alexander for the Oklahoma City Thunder. They're your guards. The power forwards will be, once again, the captain, LeBron James, captain for the West, LeBron James of the Los Angeles Lakers. Kevin Durant of the Phoenix Suns will be involved, and Nikola Jokic of the Denver Nuggets will also be alive and well. The headliner here, obviously, is James with his selection. He is now the first player in NBA history to be selected to 20 All-Star games, breaking a record of 19 he shared with another Laker legend, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. James, now 39, has now officially been an NBA All-Star for more than half of his life, a claim that no other player in the history of basketball has ever been able to make. So, congratulations. Durant is the only other player in the starter pool with double-digit selections, as this is now his 14th year as an All-Star. They are followed by Antetokounmpo, 8th pick, Lillard, 8th as well, Embiid, 7th, Jokic, 6th, Tatum, 5th, Tatum and Doncic, 5th, Gilgeous Alexander, 2nd, and Halliburton, also 2nd. There are no first-time All-Star picks among the starters. There almost certainly will be among the reserves. We are 1 week away from learning the rest of the All-Star rosters. Reserves are announced on February 1st, which is also the cutoff for the selection of the coaches, which is based on who has the best record in each conference, excluding the previous year's All-Star coaches, in this case, Michael Malone and Joe Mazzulla. The All-Star game itself will be on February 18th at Gainbridge Fieldhouse in Indianapolis, and those are the 10 players, the first 10 players who will take part. All right, there you go. Let's keep going. Let's give you the coaching grades for those that have to get new coaches. The NFL playoffs are fast approaching their anticipated finale with the Super Bowl 58 just around the corner. In the meantime, the 2024 coaching cycle is in full swing, with close to half dozen teams already naming new head coaches and several still in search of a top candidate, or Bill Belichick. In the end, more than 20% of the league will enter the new season with fresh leaders on the sideline. Now, it's impossible to know which of these this year's hires will actually pan out. Some years, the least celebrated promotion and ultimately has the last laugh. Just as in free agency, big names don't always translate to big results. This is a team game, and that means coaches, like quarterbacks, are often affected by the staff and supporting cast around them. How do the hires register right now? Courtesy of our friends at CBS Sports. Let's get to it. First, of course, the Chargers announcing Jim Harbaugh. Now, there have been big-name hires from the college ranks flounder before, like Urban Meyer, Matt Rule, and Chip Kelly. But the difference is Harbaugh's been an undisputed winner everywhere he's coached, and that includes the NFL. One went away from a Super Bowl title with the 49ers back in 2012. Now he's back on the West Coast with a franchise quarterback and a player caliber roster already in place. Guiding the team he once played for in the 90s, it's a perfect match, pairing the talented but sometimes sheepish contender with a rugged program builder who knows how to dial up splashy offense. The AFC West is finally more interesting. They got a grade of A. Dave Canales, impatience has been the name of the game in Carolina with owner Dave Tepper, burning through coaches and quarterbacks in recent years. At 42, fresh off his first year as offensive coordinator, Canales could represent a genuine pivot for the franchise. He's certainly more of an unknown than his fellow 2024 hires, but he doesn't lack for promising credentials, working 13 years as a Pete Carroll assistant in Seattle before helping revive Baker Mayfield's career as the Buccaneers play caller. An ascending quarterback whisperer, he's precisely the kind of coach who could accelerate Bryce Young's growth under center. They gave him a grade of B+. Jared Mayo, is this more of the same in New England or a changing of the guard? It's a tricky question to unpack, considering Mayo has only ever played or coached for Bill Belichick, the man he's replacing. The track record of ex-Belichick disciples as head coaches is uninspiring, to say the least. Mayo's transparent approach suggests a more inviting personality, at least. And he's had a direct hand to Pat's perennially feisty defense. But the key here will be whether he differentiates from Bill Belichick in terms of offensive staffing or roster building, at least since Tom Brady's 2020 exit left a crater in the organization. That too, grade B. Team owner Mark Davis for the Raiders opted for a splashy outside hire over a known intern in 2022, and it just backfired, just awful. So he was destined to give Pierce a fuller look after the latter went 5-4 as Josh McDaniels' in-season replacement. Personality-wise, it's apparent Pierce's player-friendly bravado has locker room support, but he has just 6 combined years of college and NFL coaching experience, so it's hard to get any real sense of his big picture vision, like fellow former linebacker DeMarco Ryans with the Texans. His future probably depends just as much on the personnel and staffing decisions that accompany his promotion. Grade of B minus. Titans, Brian Callahan. The son of longtime coach Bill Callahan, who led the Raiders to Super Bowl back in 2002. He's worked with Peyton Manning, Matthew Stafford, and Joe Burrow over the years. More recently as the Bengals offensive coach from 2019 to 2023. The mere fact he intends to bring a modern offense to Tennessee makes him an enticing replacement for the tough-nosed but defensive-minded Mike Vrabel. And yet, as with many, so much of his impact will come down to what he does or develops at quarterback. A B for him. Raheem Morris, the recent hire for the Atlanta Falcons. They're nearing a deal to name former Los Angeles Rams defensive coordinator Raheem Morris their new head coach. The Falcons interviewed a whopping 14 candidates for their head coaching job, including Bill Belichick. However, it was Morris that stood out. He actually served as the Falcons head coach for 11 games as an interim lead man back in 2020. He went 4-7. He also served as the head coach for the Bucs from 2019 to 2011, going 17-31. It would have been nice to bring an offensive mind that could get the most out of guys like Drake London, Kyle Pitts, and Bijan Robinson, but Morris is a bona fide leader that has the support of his players. Star cornerback Jalen Ramsey even reacted to the news on social media, saying Falcons got one of, if not the best coaches in the NFL for real. The offensive staff is something all Falcon fans will have an eye on. And Jones reports that Morris could bring current Rams pass game coordinator, quarterbacks coach Zach Robinson, to be his offensive coordinator. That is a grade of B. So far, not bad. Not bad at all. All right, let's get with it, boys and girls. We're nearing the home stretch. We're at 11 minutes past 12. We've been on the air for about 37 minutes, 29 seconds. So here we go. Happy landings on a chocolate star. Okay, the 49ers. Let's talk about them, shall we? We're going to anyway, so let's hey ha hoo ha. The home stadium of the San Francisco 49ers has been known as Levi's Stadium since the building opened in 2014, and that will be changing anytime soon. 49ers announced on Thursday they've reached a 10-year naming rights extension with Levi's that will keep the company name on the stadium through the 2043 season. The deal got done even though the two sides still had 10 years remaining on a 20-year, $220 million deal that they agreed to back in July of 2013. President of the 49ers, Al Guido, told the San Jose Mercury News, quote, "I think this speaks to the partnership of the 49ers and Levi's. I think it's unlikely you could find a deal that's been extended at this early stage at this price point," end quote. The price point is definitely also notable. Under the current deal, the 49ers are getting $11 million per year, but when the extension gets in, they'll be getting a total of $17 million per year, which makes it one of the largest naming right deals in NFL history. Now, based on current numbers, it looks like the Levi's deal will be the third largest in the National Football League. SoFi, they have a 20-year, $625 million deal, which is $31.25 million per year. AT&T Stadium, $17 to $19 million per year. When AT&T bought the naming rights, according to multiple reports, AT&T is paying $17 to $19 million per year to put its name on the stadium. The Jets and Giants are also near the top three, with MetLife paying $16 million per year for the naming rights of that building. Levi Stadium will be at the center of the football world on Sunday when the 49ers play host to the Lions in the NFC Championship game. It's just one of several big events that will be held at the stadium. Levi's also hosted Super Bowl 50 in 2016. In just 2 years, they will host Super Bowl XL. Stadium is also scheduled to host the World Cup in 2026. So there you go. There she will host, kids. And speaking of Bill Belichick, to wit we were, sort of a little sadness. Thursday, CBS Sports lead NFL insider Jonathan Jones reported that the Atlanta Falcons were closing in on reaching an agreement with Rams defensive coordinator Raheem Morris to be their new head coach, and the Rams later made it official. This development is notable for multiple reasons because it affects arguably the greatest NFL head coach of all time. The Falcons' opening was the only job former New England Patriots head coach Bill Belichick interviewed for, and he was considered by many to be the favorite with that job about to be filled. It leaves just two open positions. Just this week, NBC Sports reported that multiple teams were quietly considering a potential run at Belichick. At least one of those teams did not have a head coach, while at least one of them did. What will happen next? Could Belichick really be one of the losers in this game of NFL musical chairs? What are his options right now? When the Patriots parted ways with him, he had more options. Well, here's some of the landing spots for Belichick. The Washington Commanders. Right now, the Commanders are one of two teams still looking for a new head coach, and many see this gig as an attractive one with Josh Harris at the helm and Adam Peters as the new general manager. However, Lions defensive coordinator Ben Johnson appears to be the favorite to win the job, and since his team is in the NFC Championship game, he can't yet make his way to Ashburn, per Jonathan Jones. Washington has had no interest in preserving the 71-year-old Belichick, but his landing in Washington would really, truly surprise me. The Seahawks are the other team yet to hire a new head coach. Going back to the NBC Sports report, the Seahawks could be that team without a head coach, considering the late push for Belichick. Then again, pushing out a 72-year-old for a 71-year-old doesn't really make much sense. The Seahawks are an impressive organization with a reigning comeback player of the year quarterback, a young running back, an underrated wide receiving core, and a defense with several talented pieces. The Seahawks should be considered an attractive job, and while they are one of the last teams to choose a new lead man, Seattle has plenty of options to choose from, including Belichick, Vrabel, Quinn, and Slowick. Now, could a team considering a run of Belichick be former rival? New York Jets were a disaster in 2023. Yeah, they lost Aaron Rodgers 5 minutes into the season, but why is that an excuse? The Cleveland Browns won 11-6 and made the playoffs without their starting QB. And with a guy who started for the Jets just last year, Robert Saleh is reportedly safe. But he's now 18-33 with the Jets and has absolutely bungled the quarterback situation 2 years in a row. We never know. As for the Buffalo Bills, they were bounced from the playoffs by the Kansas City Chiefs once again. This is now the third straight postseason in which Buffalo has lost the division round. The Bills aren't a bad team, but have they reached their ceiling with Sean McDermott? Could this idea of a motivated Belichick who gets face off against his former team twice a year as he chases the all-time win record be very attractive? We will have to wait and see. Okay, dokers, that is here's another story. Let's give this story. A new lawsuit alleges WWE founder Vince McMahon sexually abused a former employee during his time as CEO. Janelle Grant filed a lawsuit on Thursday against her former employer, WWE. Vince McMahon and former head of talent relations, John Laurinaitis. Grant accused McMahon of using WWE resources to traffic her to other men as a, quote, pawn to secure talent deals, end quote, according to a lawsuit filed in the U.S. District Court for the District of Connecticut. The plaintiff seeks unspecified monetary damages, don't they all, with reason, and a declaratory judgment that a non-disclosure agreement Grant signed is void and unenforceable and does not bar any plaintiff's claim against defendants McMahon and the WWE. The suit alleges McMahon and Laurinaitis engaged in sexual assault and trafficking, both of their own pleasure and as a pawn to secure talent deals with prospective wrestlers they were recruiting. McMahon would shower Miss Grant with gifts and empty work promotions, while at the same time threatening her livelihood and her rep if she wouldn't succumb to his increasingly depraved sexual demands, including disseminating pornography of Miss Grant to thousands of individuals and engaging in sex acts with other WWE employees, some of whom were complete strangers, illegal claims. Grant and McMahon allegedly lived in the same apartment building and met in March 2019. Grant was allegedly given an entry-level position as an administrator/coordinator after succumbing to the pressure for a physical relationship, end quote. The lawsuit details multiple allegations of sexual assault and extreme depravity conducted by McMahon and Laurinaitis. Grant allegedly was abruptly pressured to resign from the WWE, forced to sign a NDA days before a major financial deadline for the organization. After McMahon's wife learned of the relationship, McMahon allegedly promised to protect her financially and reputationally and paid her $3 million. McMahon allegedly refused to make payments to Ms. Grant, falsely claiming that she had leaked information to the press. The lawsuit states that McMahon paid Grant $1 million in February 2022, but he, quote, failed to make any further payment, end quote. Today's complaint seeks to hold accountable two WWE executives who sexually assaulted and trafficked plaintiff Grant, as well as the organization that facilitated or turned a blind eye to the abuse and then swept it under the rug, said Ann Callis, Grant's attorney, in a statement published by Variety. She's an incredibly private person and private and courageous person who has suffered deeply at the hands of Messrs. McMahon and Laurinaitis. Ms. Grant hopes that her lawsuit will prevent other women from being victimized. The organization is well aware of Mr. McMahon's history of depraved behavior, and it's time to take responsibility for the misconduct of its leadership. Now, McMahon stepped down as WWE CEO in July 2022, while the company investigated allegations of hush money payments. Who accused McMahon of sexual misconduct. WWE disclosed that McMahon made $19.6 million in payments dating back to 2007 relating to alleged misconduct. McMahon paid WWE $17.4 million in March 2023 for costs the company incurred while investigating him. McMahon returned to the company in January 2023 as an executive chairman to lead WWE sales efforts. WWE merged with the UFC last year, a deal coordinated by Endeavor, leading to the creation of TKO Group Holdings. The lawsuit was filed 2 days after TKO penned a 10-year deal with Netflix totaling $5 billion. McMahon, WWE, TKO, and Netflix have not yet responded to these. Okay. McMahon, WWE, TKO, Netflix have not yet responded to the allegations. Claims against the defendants include violating the Trafficking Victims Prevention Act, civil battery, and intentional infliction of distress, emotional distress. Let's see here. Claims against defendants include violating the Trafficking Victims Prevention Act, civil battery, and intentional infliction of emotional distress concerning years-long sexual and emotional abuse. A spokesman for McMahon released a statement on the lawsuit on Thursday night. Quote, this lawsuit is replete with lies, obscene made-up instances that never occurred, and vindictive distortion of the truth that he will vigorously defend himself on. And that is that for that. Wow. Okay. Ooh, boy, oh boy, oh boy. Okay. We got about 6 minutes remaining on our little broadcast here. Glad you're still sticking around. I'm glad I'm here too. Okay. Let's get you some entertainment news before we wrap it up. And we go like this. And entertainment news.
Sorry, news playback isn't supported on this device yet. This is the top result.
Okay, here we go. And there's nothing here. Oh boy. Okay. Things are.
Here's the definition of thing: an object that one need not, cannot, or does not wish to give a specific.
Okay, we're gonna get some entertainment news for you. Let's get going. Here's a little bit from TMZ or TMZ before we sign off the air. The director of a Roadhouse reboot is mad the movie won't run in movie theaters, potentially costing Jake Gyllenhaal an Oscar. But Patrick Swayze's widow says that's a highbrow aim compared to the OG film, which was never meant to win Academy Awards. Lisa Nimi Swayze tells TMZ the original Roadhouse wasn't really Oscar-worthy material and it never tried to be. It was just supposed to be a guilty pleasure. Doug Liman directed the new Roadhouse with Jake playing Patrick's main character role of John Dalton, and he's ripping Amazon for sending it straight to its Prime Video streaming service instead of giving it a theatrical run first. Doug says Amazon is depriving Jake from being recognized come award season for what he says is a career best acting performance, and he's boycotting SXSW where the film is set to debut. Patrick's wife isn't bashing Doug or the new movie when she says the original wasn't geared at winning Academy Awards, though. She's just saying that the '89 film was really just for pure entertainment. In fact, Lisa said Patrick truly respected Jake as an actor and thought he was a great talent. As for a raging debate over the benefits of a theatrical release versus straight to streaming release, Lisa says she's not qualified to give that a hot take. Bottom line for Patrick's widow, her late husband's Roadhouse was just supposed to be good old-fashioned fun. It appears the reboot will be the same, much to the director's chagrin. Okay, let's keep going. And we keep going. Let's see here. The Associated Press won the DuPont. Oh, hi. The Associated. Okay, here's some headlines for you. Glad you could be with us. Let's go to it. Yansky. The Associated Press won the DuPont Columbia Award for the Ukraine War documentary 20 Days in Mariupol. Harry Connick Sr., longtime New Orleans District Attorney, and the singer Harry Connick Jr.'s dad, died at 97. A man has been once again arrested outside Taylor Swift's New York City home and has been held without bail for violating a protective order. The Dominican judge orders conditional release of U.S. rapper Tekashi 6ix9ine in domestic violence case. Lori Moore, and Naomi Klein are among nominees for National Book Critics Circle Awards. Christopher Nolan's Tenet returns to theaters in IMAX 70mm with new Dune Part 2 footage. Andre Nelson agrees to rolling contract as Boston Symphony Orchestra musical director. Coleman Domingo will play Joe Jackson in Michael, the Michael Jackson biopic. Herbert Coward, known for Toothless Man role in Deliverance, has died in a North Carolina highway crash. The artist who performed nude in the 2010 Marina Abramovic exhibition sues the Museum of Modern Art over sexual assault claims. Fendi caps culture with futurism tinged ode to Lagerfeld at Paris Fashion Week. And the hot young thing at 71, John Leventhal, has made a debut album. Melanie, singer-songwriter of Brand New Key and other 70 hits, has died at the age of 76. Billy Idol's upcoming pre-Super Bowl show's recent Hoover Dam performance, working on a new album. Japan's NHK broadcaster says the man convicted in the arson attack on a Kyoto anime studio has been sentenced to death. Trump's live appearances pose a riddle that news executives still haven't solved. Barbie's Oscar snub prompts a backlash even from Ken and Hillary. Live Nation, Madonna's management, responds to lawsuit over show starting late. And New York Philharmonic will be playing excerpts from Maestro with Bradley Cooper conversation. So, folks, that is it. That is all we got. And we have just now. Oh, and Jon Stewart will return to the Daily Show's host, but just on Mondays. That is it for us. Thank you for tuning in. We have done it. We have given you an hour's full of, nearly an hour's full of sports and entertainment news. Who knows what's going to happen tomorrow? And hopefully we might have a little light here tomorrow. So, as they say, stand by, miracles can happen. But for everyone involved in our usual show here, from Harry from our announcer, Harry von Stuttgart, and everybody else, it's been a joy. It's been fun. It's been jam-packed. And now it's time for us to say goodnight to you and to always do us a favor, keep your sporty balls shiny. I'm Steve the Baxman Baxley for our good friend Matthew the Wizard Nichols, J the Brain with two N's to avoid legal man, and everybody else in our little company, L2C Media, the L2C Media Network. I'm Steve the Baxman Baxley, Cuckoo Cuckoo. We'll see you tomorrow night at 11:30, hopefully with a light, so you can actually see us. But I guess you can see us right here, can't you? Yes, you can. Okay, thanks everybody for watching. Good night. This has been a presentation of Mystifying Creativity Productions for the L2C Media Network and YouTube, and we will talk to you all tomorrow. Good night. God bless. And Taylor Swift, get a life, I guess. No, I'm kidding. Thanks, everybody. Good night. We'll be better tomorrow. It'll be a Friday. Thank God for Friday, folks. We can go freaky. Back tomorrow night. See ya.